Ohio State with the nation's longest winning streak, trying to regain the lead. And Hyde and Miller run into each other, and then Hyde powers in for the touchdown. Brady Hope's going to go for two and try to win it right here. 3 yards away from a possible upset. Gardner, right side, it's intercepted. And Urban Meyer still perfect as Ohio State's coach. They don't come much better than that.
Glad to have Urban Meyer join us here on SportsCenter. Year number 3 at Ohio State. Our former co-worker. You didn't like stop by HR for another per diem check, did you?
No, I someday maybe, but not now.
It's probably still there, Urban. The place has changed a little bit since you've been back. Welcome back.
Yeah, this looks like an aircraft hangar. I mean, this is good to see ESPN staying with the times.
That's right. What do you think of that big hunk of metal to your left? No more crystal football. Instead, this is the new college football championship trophy.
You know, there's a part of me, there's always going to be that crystal football. I did not realize that was the trophy, but there's a big part that's always going to remember, and those crystal balls. So that's great. I think it's great for college
football. You better
get
used to looking at that thing, because the expectations are that you'll be lifting it up one day. Where are we with Braxton Miller? Your star quarterback had surgery, didn't take a snap in the spring. Where is he right now, Coach?
He's full speed, ready to go. Best shape he's ever been in. Attitude's terrific. Gave us a chance to work on his 2 areas that he needs strength. The leadership part, just the overall knowledge of how to attack defenses and keeping his eyes downfield. So real excited. We have to manage him the first 2 weeks. Not because it's not healthy. Just volume. You know, training camp, you got, start getting 2-day practices. You really got to watch your quarterback's arm. But the fact that he's not up to strength is just the repetitions. He hasn't had those because he missed all spring. So I'm just going to keep an eye on the volume.
I was obviously with you down there calling the Orange Bowl, where he went through I mean, what a gutsy night with what he had to endure on that night. How do you measure his development when he does hit the field come September? What are the things we're looking for to see the next step in how he's executing and performing on the field?
The next step is big. He went from freshman to sophomore year. I think he below 50% his first year completion rate. Then, I think it was close to 60, upper 60s this time. And then his senior year, he's actually on a very standard development as a quarterback. So his next step, he's Big Ten Player of the Year 2 years in a row. Has won a ridiculous amount of games. Now his next step is going to win a championship.
He had that nice crutch that he could lean on last year with Carlos Hyde, your workhorse running back. What's he turning around and handing off to now?
Well, Carlos was maybe the best back in America last year, and we have some good backs, to be determined. But I like where we're at with Ezekiel Elliott. He'll be a redshirt freshman, or no, true sophomore. Played for us last year. I want to say he had about 400 yards rushing for us, and then the next guy is to be determined, but I think it's going to be Curtis Samuel, or it could be Rod Smith, who's been there for several years.
Veteran guy.
And you have Briante Dunn and Warren Ball, the guys that just have to improve a little bit.
And yet, as much as we can talk about the skill positions that you've had during this great 2-year run to start off your tenure at Ohio State, you always would spin the conversation to that offensive line, but you have to replace 4 of them now. What do the Buckeyes have up front?
Ohio State traditionally has had very good offensive lines. This might have been the best. Statistically, every record has been broken on offense, basically, and they were a huge part of it. Those 4 guys, 4 great leaders, 4 great energy players that every day brought it to practice, and they're gone. So we have 2 starters right now. We have to find 3 more, and spring was somewhat disappointing. However, a lot of confidence in our line coach, a lot of confidence in our personnel. We just got to get better.
Continuing education, always the case for a coach. You spent some time with the Eagles this offseason?
Yeah, it was a tremendous 2 days that, you got to find that time, but every time you leave, we're going to instill some of the things that Coach Kelly's done with the Eagles.
What was your takeaway?
His attention to detail in sports performance is something I've never experienced before, so it's a new era for the Buckeyes. We're going to do a lot of that as well.
Some texting with LeBron James in his return to the Buckeye State. What was that exchange like between the 2 of you?
Well, I'll tell you, I've always been a big fan of his. Met him back when he was a sophomore in high school, and I just think he's one of the most articulate, polished superstars, the most polished I've ever met. Spoke to our team last year, very clean. He brought his sons with him. Great representative of his organization, and I'm just happy he's
we expect to see him in the coming weeks, fall camp visitor.
He's got an open invite, man.
He can, anytime.
Anytime.
Keys to the place.
He's got a room and a locker waiting for him.
Players that could be emerging this year, the next stars on the horizon for Ohio State.
I like to use the word stars, but our safeties, Von Bell and Tyvis Powell, are two names. You also have this kid named Curtis Samuel out of Brooklyn, New York, a real freshman. He was here for spring.
Not the normal pipeline of recruiting for Ohio State, a kid out of Brooklyn.
I hope it becomes that. Yeah. Erasmus High School and Danny Lamberger, that's a tremendous program there, and he could be the real deal. And Raekwon McMillan's a linebacker, highly recruited guy that I hope holds up what he's supposed to be.
Urban, biggest change to college football is obviously we have a playoff this year. You know all about the BCS and lifting up that crystal trophy. Where does the Big Ten fit into the college football playoff and having a seat at the table when we have 4 spots and 5 power conferences?
We have to be in that conversation, and I believe we will. You know, I've heard all the, Michigan State last year went out and won the Rose Bowl. They would have been right there. I believe we were very close to being there. So we have to uphold our end of the bargain, is that win bowl games and get there. So I hope we're in that conversation. That's not our focus right now, but we need to be involved. And the Big Ten needs to be involved in that conversation.
Ready to get after it here, put that whistle around the neck. Media tour done. Ackerman Road, not that nice facility for the Buckeyes. You bring the guys to Ackerman Road and you shave down the grass and leave the clippings right on there.
You got to feel bad before you feel good. So
that's right.
We're ready to go.
Coach, always nice to visit with you.
Good to see you, Joe.
Coach, I know you probably don't like